Greetings and welcome back to The Scene here on 88.1 The Park. My name is Nick Brandon, joining you tonight to bring you the best in local music and especially all that amazing stuff coming out of the park, Plymouth Canton Educational Park. I'm the director of the In the Band Music Appreciation Studio, and we're always proud to bring you The Scene here on the airwaves on the last Thursday of every month, so welcome to our April show. I can tell you that this is a good one to tune in for. Our special guest tonight is somebody that I've been trying for a long time to get into this studio and play her amazing songs, and we're super pumped to have Zoe Stirrett join us tonight, and we will get to her in a little bit. But first, and speaking of Zoe, 2 weeks away, actually 2 weeks and 1 day, just to be exact, is the big, gigantic, awesome, fabulous In the Band Spring 7-inch release party. Yes, this is one of our 2 big shows of the year, and this is the spring version. So the last one is in the fall, and it's October, and it's Halloween. This one is the warm weather, good times, good vibes night for all of our In the Band artists to celebrate the coming of ITB2, which is our second 7-inch vinyl. This one features Michigan Left and Paper Crowns. We will be celebrating this Friday night, May 11th at Park, right there on the first floor in the annex, or the scene as we call it. We are going to have 2 stages, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, we are crazy enough or just cool enough to try and do this even bigger than we've done it before. 2 stages, 14 acts. So get this. There is the electric psychedelic stage. Yes, we got a psychedelic vibe this time around. It's kind of a 70s theme. The psychedelic stage will feature the best of our electric bands. We got Paper Crowns, Michigan Left, Me and the Dog, which is now electrified, led by Keegan Weaver. 2%, which is a collection of great hip-hop artists from the park. Read the Sun, Fat Robin, and Lavender and Company will round out the psychedelic stage. So just think about the diversity of sounds that you'll get there just in that one location. But then when you want to chill and get that flower power vibe, you will go over to the acoustic Flower Power Coffee House, which will have coffee and tea provided by Sweetwater's of Canton, one of our great sponsors at In the Band. Zoe Stirrett, tonight's guest, will be joined by Marco Azil, Marco Azil, Marquette Winston, the Blue Rhythm Boys, which is Hayden Kuzmano's bluegrass project. It's pretty fun. Brian Fair, my good friend, Kevin Allen, and Liam Reynolds will round out the Flower Power Coffee House. So we've got 14 acts lined up for you. You're going to get to see them all at some point during the night. We're timing everything so you can kind of pick up that festival vibe. And it's just going to be an incredible night of music that we want everyone to come and support. Doors are at 5:30. Music starts at 5:45. We will have free pizza. We will have great music, and we will have great times. So please make sure and come out, support In the Band, support our artist on Friday, May 11th at 5:45 p.m. in the Plymouth Arts and Recreation Complex. So take out your phones right now, pull up your little Google Calendar, mark it down, Friday, May 11th. We hope to see all of you there. Let's get going tonight with turning the clock back to ITB1, which is our 7-inch vinyl that we released in the fall. I have heard through the grapevine that this band is going to be reuniting for a show in June at In the Band in our new stage in our studio. So let's kick it off with Junior High Cheer Squad, our good friends Keegan, George, and Wes. Here is Change on The Scene on 88.1 The Park.
Taking the blame.
this broken heart has taught me anything, it's that change is good.
If this broken heart has taught me anything, it's that the change is good. Same place as me. And I've changed, and change is good.
Hi, I'm Miley. I got at Isbister Elementary, and you're listening to 88.1 The Park, Plymouth and Canton's hit music.
My hair is much longer than before. And I swear that I've changed too, but not for you, and not for you. And I swear that everything is changed. My mind's already made. I gotta grow up, embrace myself. Grow up, embrace the hell that I've been given to love myself the way I want to, and I won't lose myself to any of your fears, and I won't lose myself over all these years. I won't lose myself to the insecurity that hold me back, that hold me back. You held me back. You hold me back. I gotta grow up, embrace myself. Grow up,
We'll just call that the Keegan Weaver segment here on the scene on 881 The Park. We had Junior High Cheer Squad with Change, and then we follow that up with Me and the Dog, a.k.a. Keegan, with I Didn't Quite Get That, a song that I absolutely love. There's a video for it on YouTube. Everyone should go check it out. That's the latest from our good friend Keegan. Speaking of good friends, let's bring in tonight's guest. It wasn't that much more than a year ago where this musician told me, hey, I'm about to play my first show. And I was like, what? Because I remember I sort of discovered Zoe Stirrett at Sweetwater's at one of our open mic nights and was amazed. It was like, wow, what an incredible voice. And couldn't believe that this music thing was a bit new to her, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, performing was.
At some point, then we did a show and Zoe was part of it. And sort of nervously, I remember waiting to go on stage, said, by the way, like, I've never done this before. And then you proceeded to go out and just wow the crowd. And that's sort of what you've been doing ever since is I think building an audience, building a ton of respect within the scene. And you've gone from first show to putting on your own shows, which we'll get to, and really winning over a lot of people loving your music. So Zoe Stirrett, welcome to the scene tonight. It's good to have you. I'm assuming you remember that night. How far have you come as a performer since that first show a year ago?
Oh, I think I've come very far since then. It actually was less than a year ago. It was the Halloween show.
Oh, you're right.
That was my first ever time, like, performing a set of my own songs, and I was terrified, absolutely terrified, and yeah, it was terrifying. But then, ever since then, it's not as scary, so that's nice.
Like most performers and musicians, you kind of get up there and find your comfort zone. I mean, you would have never told that night, and that was a big show. There were a lot of people in that room when you were performing, and you got up there and did great. So it seems like your confidence has gained. Yeah,
definitely. I've gained a lot of confidence since then, and I feel like I've gotten more audience support since then because more people know who I am now, it makes it easier, you know?
We call it the Zoe crowd. you have your regulars, that show up. And it seems like you and Abby Sexton from Paper Crowns have certainly a good friendship and a musical connection as well. I know that your voice will be on this new 7-inch record. You sing background on Disappear.
Yes, I do.
So was Abby into it before you were? Was she kind of instrumental in any way in getting you involved in performing or writing songs?
Well, the funny thing, me and Abby actually met when I was in, I think, the 7th grade, and she was in 8th grade, because we used to do Canton Idol, which is like a singing competition at the Cherry Hill Theater. And we weren't really like super great friends, but we did meet then. And then we did it all throughout high school. And so every summer we'd be like, hey, like, good to see you, that type of thing. Yeah. And then it was actually last year-ish that we started becoming better friends and started performing together and singing together and stuff like that. So...
And your voices blend together incredibly well. I mean, that is and easy when you're both fantastic singers. But
thank you.
There is a pretty good synergy there between you guys' voices.
Yeah, I really love singing with Abby. Yeah. She's probably my favorite person to sing with, which is cool. But
and you're a senior this year.
Yes.
Which school are you at?
Canton.
And which you said 7th grade? Which middle school did you go to?
Pioneer.
Oh, all right, cool.
Yeah.
Pioneer Panther.
Yeah.
Cool. So. So when did you, tell me your background in writing. It's one thing to just be this great singer around the house, but when did you actually start writing songs? When did that become part of your thing?
So my mom always would tell me, like, you should try to write a song. You should try to write a song. And I was like, I can't write a song. You're crazy. And then freshman year for an English project, we had to do some like art type project with it. And so I was like, I'll write a song about equality. And so that was my project. And it wasn't a great song, but it wasn't horrible either. And my mom was like, this is a good song, you should try to write more. And so I tried writing more and I couldn't. I could not. And so then, I think it was the next summer, my mom sent this song in to Interlochen Arts Academy, their singer-songwriter camp, like as an audition. And I got in with having written this one song. And so then I went to Interlochen for the singer-songwriter camp. And then it was really there that I started developing myself as a songwriter more and being like, oh, I can actually do this, Yeah. And so the songs I wrote there still not that great, but ever since then, I think I've improved a lot, and I've written a lot of songs since then.
But when you write your first song, you described it as not great but not bad. That's actually pretty good on the curve of a first song, because most first songs are terrible.
Yeah, that is true.
So the fact that it was just okay kind of puts you ahead of the curve right off the bat.
Yeah, I guess that's one way to look at it.
Is it a song that you still perform?
No, I do not perform. It was very much about like equality and like talked about Martin Luther King in it and stuff like that, you know? Very like English class based.
Yes.
But it was okay.
And since it seems like you've developed, lyrically, of course, and we all, as we all grow up, we become more observant and we start writing about different things. But just musically, it seems like just purely as a guitar player, in the world of singer-songwriters, guitar players are kind of underrated. But I can tell that you've grown just in that way too, in putting together melodies and songcraft.
I think I've grown in every way, in my melodies, in my lyrics, in my performance, like all of that. I think every day, really, I'm growing more because it is kind of newer to me. So, but I'm still learning. And
you're in the Arts Academy?
I'm actually not technically in the Arts Academy, but I'm in Capstone.
So you're doing, doing the
So
Capstone.
I'm doing the Capstone project, yeah.
And it seems like that's been a good influence for you too, to kind of engage in that project.
That has been a great thing in my life this year. We just finished recording all the songs for my EP, and then, so that's exciting that happened. And part of my project was performing more, so that
certainly
more
happened.
it definitely happened.
And we've been thrilled to have you at our shows. So, in the band hopefully has been a small but important part of this whole development.
Oh, in the band has been a large and important part of this development for sure.
For sure. And we know that you're going to join us on May 11th, which is going to be fabulous.
Yes, I'm very excited about that show. And
then you are going to be part of the first show in our new stage in our studio on June 16th.
Yes, also very excited about that one.
For sure, yeah. Yeah, we're fortunate to have you join. So let's get to a performance. So Zoe's got a lot of great songs, but what I've done is just front load with my favorite one. And as you know, every time Zoe plays, I'm like, okay, you can play the show as long as you play Starlight. So tell me a little bit about this song and when you wrote it and what's it about.
So Starlight, I actually wrote this the beginning of this year in like September. I wrote it because I wanted another song to perform at the Halloween show. I didn't have enough. And so I wrote it for that. But really, it's actually kind of about my friends. I have a really nice group of friends that I really love a lot. And so it's just kind of about like our summer together and just like having a good time with them, that type of thing.
Cool.
Yeah.
A good graduation song too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's get into it. So Zoe's going to get situated here with her acoustic guitar, and her vocals are already warmed up. She's like all young singers. They don't have to warm up. Wait till you get old, Zoe. You got to warm up. But here is Zoe Stirrett, and she is going to play Starlight live in studio here on The Scene on 88.1 The Park.
The kings and the queens of bad poetry made a deal with the devil you wouldn't believe. He got much more than he bargained for. The beautiful broken, words left unspoken with those sunflower eyes. He said, this is our time. They can't drown us out. Our minds are too loud. Windows roll down, open road, we'll scream every last note. Let's carve our names in the trees. Watch the sun as it bleeds. 'Cause we are young and we're alive. We were made to burn the sky. Let's paint the world tonight. We are starlight. The Duke and the Duchess of all the world's ruckus, given souls of gold. We live by our own compass, dancing like maniacs on the old train tracks. Lovely commotion, kids of the ocean with those fiery eyes. He said, this is our time. They can't tear us down. Our hearts are too loud. loud. Windows roll down, open road, we'll scream every last note. Let's carve our names in the trees. Watch the sun as it bleeds. 'Cause we are young and we're alive. We were made to burn the sky. Let's paint the world tonight. We are starlight. Carve our names in the trees. Watch the sun as it bleeds. 'Cause we are young and we're alive. We were made to burn the sky. Let's paint the world tonight. Carve our names in the trees. Watch the sun as it bleeds. 'Cause we are young and we're alive. We were made to burn the sky. Let's paint the world tonight. We are starlight.
And in the band favorite, Starlight from Zoe Stirrett here on the scene on 88.1 The Park. That was fabulous. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Promise me that when you're like rich and famous and on tour, that when you come back to Detroit, that you find me and I get to play drums on that song.
Oh, I promise you.
All right.
Absolutely.
It's on the airwaves. Sorry. Now you got to live up to that. That's like a hit, you know?
Thank you.
It's probably your catchiest song, I think.
It's definitely like my boppiest song, you know?
Yeah, for sure. A crowd favorite.
Yes, definitely.
So will you be playing that one on May 11th? Say yes.
Of course.
Oh, okay. Sweet. Fabulous. So you mentioned that you just finished the recording. So this was for your capstone project. You said 4 songs?
Yes, 4 songs.
And are they full band or are they just you solo?
They are full band.
Cool.
So they sound very different than just what I'm used to,
Yeah.
but it's very exciting.
And you will
fun.
get those to us so we can play them on the scene, correct?
Of course, yes.
All right. Excellent. So next is going to be City Lights, another one that you've played at your shows. Tell us about this track.
City Lights was probably one of the first songs that I wrote that I was like, this is a song I could actually perform for people. It's not really written about anything specifically. I just kind of wrote it about something random, you know? Sometimes when I don't know what to write about, I'll Google like song prompts and then I'll just write something based off of that. So that's where this one came from.
That was a song prompt?
It was a song prompt, yeah.
Which makes sense because my first thought was Journey. Journey's like constantly singing about the city lights. It's like in 5 of their songs. So that just brought up some imagery and then you went away with lyrics? Is that kind of how it went?
Yep. So
Wow, Google song prompt.
that's what I do sometimes.
It's amazing. They didn't have that in 1993, Bill Keith. But, you know, now the kids can just go on Google and get song prompts. That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, let's hear it. Let's do
All right.
this. So here is performance number 2, Zoe Stirrett with City Lights here on the scene on 88.1 The Park.
How do you tell somebody they remind you of city lights burning through the darkness? I try to be nonchalant around him, but I'm at a loss for words. How do you tell somebody you adore them? Every single crevice of their soul. His eyes are like a black hole I get lost in, and I can't find my way out. This boy could really break my heart, but maybe that's a risk I should take. This boy could really break my heart, but maybe that's a risk I should take. Oh, 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 somebody that they leave you tongue-tied every single time. Suddenly I'm losing all my sentences. I just can't find the right words. How do you tell somebody you adore them? Every single crevice of their soul. His eyes are like a black hole I get lost in, and I can't find my way out. This boy could really break my heart, but maybe that's a risk I should take. This boy could really break my heart, but maybe that's a risk I should take. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh. How do you tell somebody that you're terrified to go and hand over your heart? But here he is just doing what he does, and I want that boy so much. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh. This boy could really break my heart, but I think that's a risk I will take.
City Lights from Zoe Stirrett here on the scene on 88.1 The Park. When did you realize, hey, I can sing? You know, I mean, I'm sure you grew up and it was like, I might be able to do this. But when was it confirmed, okay, I actually could sing? Because you really have an incredible voice.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I have definitely been singing for as long as I can remember and always really enjoyed singing and music and all that. But I think it was at my 5th grade graduation that I had a solo in the song we sang. And it was after that especially my parents, they were like, oh my goodness, you can actually sing, you know? And obviously I had a 5th grade voice at that point, but it was I had the potential kind of, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I really think it was then that I realized it.
And so, you've gone from singer and now you're songwriter. And then this year you actually took everything a step further and became show producer with the Band Together show.
Yeah.
How was that experience? And tell the audience, how that all came to be.
Yeah, so I'm in National Honor Society, and for my ISP this year, I did not know what I was going to do. But Abby Sexton from Paper Crowns, last year, she put on a benefit concert that benefited something in Detroit. I'm not 100% sure. But I was like, this is really cool. I feel like maybe that's something I could do. But I did not know what I would benefit, you know? And then it came to me. I'm like, in the band. In the band is responsible for the fact that I actually can perform. So I decided to do it for In the Band. And yeah, so that was, when was it? A few weeks ago that it was, March 23rd, I think. So yeah, it was very stressful. I don't know how you can put on all those shows that you do because it is a lot of work.
No one realizes how much work it is.
No, it is a lot of work. Take it from me. It's a lot of work. Yeah. But yeah, it was a really cool experience. And I think it turned out pretty well for
It was a great show. Such a great lineup.
Thank you.
And we're forever grateful.
Thank you.
For sure. That was an awesome thing for In the Band. And just the collection of artists that you put together was really impressive.
Yeah. Funny story. Actually, I had put up flyers for auditions and nobody came to auditions. So I had to go seek out people. But it worked out because then I could seek out the people that I'm like, they would be good, you know?
Yeah, that's right.
So then it ended up being a really great lineup with a lot of really talented people in it. And
as we always say it In the Band, the show must go on. You got to find a way.
No, it worked out, yeah.
For sure. Well, it was a very cool thing. It was an awesome night for PCP musicians and for In the Band and everybody involved. So it was really cool. and you learned what it's like to put on a show.
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
It was, I mean, as much work as it was also a very cool thing. Like,
Yeah.
I enjoyed it, you know?
It's good work. Yeah,
Good
you're
work.
absolutely right. So let's shift to our influences segment. We always check in with our in-studio guests about the music and the artists that had an inspirational effect and an influence on them. So, Zoe, you chose a couple of artists tonight to play. Tell us about the first song. It's Say It, Just Say It. Tell us about the artist and why you chose it.
So Say It, Just Say It by the Mowglis is one of my favorite songs and has been since I think like the 7th grade. And I remember vividly the first time I heard this song, me and my mom were watching The Voice, and they used to do like group songs. And so for the group song, they sang this song, and I was like, that is an awesome song. So then I looked it up and like listened to the actual version, and it was probably one of the first songs that when I listened to it, I was like, I wish I would have written that song. Like, it's just such a great song. I wish that would have came out of me.
Yeah.
And so I think that really had a lot of influence on me becoming a songwriter.
Yeah.
And then the Mowglis, who sing the song, have actually become probably my favorite band of all time. And they are very positive, and all their music is very positive and happy. And I think that my music, for the most part, kind of is more on the positive side of things. And so I think I get a lot of influence from that. And yeah.
Yeah, your music's pretty optimistic.
Yeah,
would
I
say,
try
and that's
to.
cool. Hopeful.
Yeah,
I would
even
say.
my like one breakup song that I have, it like still has a hopeful vibe to it, you know?
Yeah.
So
That's cool. And I think the inspiration for any art is, gosh, I wish I could have done that.
Mm-hmm.
And I could certainly say as a musician that's the inspiration point. It's like, man, I wish I would have written that. Or I wish I would have played that drum part. Or I wish, you know what I mean? So
yeah.
it's cool that was kind of the beginning of it. And then Of Monsters and Men is certainly a group that I would align with your sound in a number of ways. It seems like rhythmically you've picked up some things from them
Yeah.
along the way.
With the Little Talks by Of Monsters and Men. So that song, in the 8th grade, me and Keegan Weaver from Me and the Dog, we sang that song together in our 8th grade talent show. And that was the first time that I think I kind of found the type of music that I liked to sing, and that was like my style of music, because before that I was all pop songs and that type of thing, you know, middle school girl, obviously. But it was that song. I remember showing it to my 8th grade science teacher, and she told me, she was like, Zoe, I've never heard you sing like that before. And I was like, maybe this is what I'm supposed to be singing like, you know, like this is my style. And so I think that definitely helped me figure out kind of where I was going, you know?
Does a video exist of an 8th grade Zoe Stirrett and an 8th grade Keegan Weaver singing? Because if so, I want to see it.
I think that Keegan's dad has a video. I'm pretty sure it's on his Instagram,
Oh my
so
gosh.
remind me to show you that, because
I totally have to see that.
it is pretty funny.
Yeah, Keegan, if you're out there, I think you're listening, but K-Weave, you got to put that up on your social media. We got to check that out. So cool. Well, I think you picked a couple of influences songs that certainly represent you as an artist. So we're happy to check in with those. So how do you pronounce the band name again?
The Mowglis.
Mowglis.
Yes.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to hear them for the first time, I think, although maybe I've heard this song before. But let's check in with the influences song. So here is the Mowglis with Say It, Just Say It, and that will be followed by Of Monsters and Men here on the scene on 88.1 The Park. Yeah. Little Talks from Of Monsters and Men, the Zoe Stirrett influences segment here on the scene on 88.1 The Park. Thank you, Zoe. I'm going to have that song in my head all night. And you reminded me, you and Keegan Weaver did a reunion cover of that at Sweetwater's at one of our open mics.
We did back in December. Yes. I also have a video of that one. So.
Yeah. You kind of nailed it, too. I remember that being pretty good.
Thank you.
We are going to get in our time machine and travel back. We're going to bring in Bill Keith, station manager for 88.1, and we always check in with Bill for the Scene Rewind. Tonight we have some pretty notable names on the Scene Rewind, Bill, with Tomahawk. Tell us about kind of the really famous people we're about to hear from.
Yeah, it's kind of a super group that brought together Mike Patton from Faith No More, and one of the members at one time was, I think he's still in the group, was a member of the band Helmet, and also the connection to PCP was Dwayne Dennison as the guitar player. He was a 77 graduate of Salem, and he was also a member of a fairly well-known indie rock group called the Jesus Lizard.
Yeah.
And did a number of other things. He had a band with ex-Ministry bassist Paul Barker called the USSA, and played with the legendary Shack Shakers, which is kind of a punk meets rockabilly group.
Very beloved Detroit group, yeah.
And I think they might be out of Nashville. And then Hank Williams III He was part of Hank's band. So has done a lot of different things, and Spin Magazine selected Dwayne Dennison as one of the 100 greatest guitarists of all time.
So that's not bad.
No, that's a pretty notable
Yeah.
accomplishment.
A very famous Park grad that probably a lot of current students had never heard of, but they will now. So,
Yeah.
well, it's cool. A good choice from tonight. Bill Keith, always with the good choices on the scene.
Well, I
rewind.
wanted to play the Jesus Lizard, but everything I was listening to them, I mean, these guys are heavy, but the Jesus Lizard is like heavy and very chaotic, and I was having a hard time picking a song. So I was I better try Tomahawk.
I love the Jesus Lizard, but we might have scared off our listeners with that. But very famous and influential band. So let's check in with Tomahawk. We're going to stay in our time machine. Here's the Scene Rewind. This is When the Stars Begin to Fall on the Scene on 88.1 The Park. That would be Mike Patton. That would be Tomahawk. And that would be the Scene Rewind. That was When the Stars Begin to Fall. Here on the Scene on 88.1 The Park. Zoe Stirrett, you probably haven't heard anything like that.
No,
before.
I have not. Not really.
I'm assuming you will not write a song of that nature anytime soon.
No, I think that's a little bit out of my wheelhouse. Just a little bit.
Be interesting one day for you to just show up and just do like a metal song.
Can you
know?
imagine just all of a sudden me and my acoustic guitar?
It would certainly, be captivating.
Hayden Kuzmano would be in the band, I think.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Hayden would be there for sure. So, Bill, great choice as always on the Scene Rewind. That was cool to check in with Tomahawk. So, Zoe, we're going to hear one more song from you. Before we do, tell us what your plans are. You're going to be graduating soon. I'm sure senioritis has fully kicked in.
Oh, yes.
What's the plan musically? What's the plan in every other way for the next year?
Well, I am going to Michigan State next year, so I won't be too far away from home. So I'll still be around for
Good.
any in the band shows.
You'll be there.
But yeah, I think I don't really have a plan musically right now. I'm kind of just seeing where life takes me, kind of, So I have the EP that we just finished that'll come out, and then just kind of see where it goes from there.
But you'll keep playing, keep writing.
Oh, keep playing,
yeah.
keep writing forever, of course.
Awesome.
Performing as much as I can, all that stuff.
Yeah, never stop no matter what.
No, I never will.
For sure, yeah. What are you going to study?
I am majoring in media and information at
Nice.
first. Yeah.
Cool.
So we'll see where that goes.
Excellent. Well, you might change your major 10 more times.
Oh,
or you
yeah.
might stick with
Most
that.
likely, knowing me, that will probably happen.
So this is going to be The Painter, and this will be the last in-studio performance from Zoe Stirrett. So everybody enjoy this one, and if you like what you hear, which of course you will, then come see her play on May 11th at Park for our In the Band Spring 7-inch release show. So Zoe, take it away. Let's hear The Painter here on the Scene on 88.1 The Park.
I hate the silence, but I need it for the noise. How can one be loud when they have yet to find their voice? The warmth of summer melting into autumn rain. We hide our chaos, but we just wanna feel sane. Stuck in my head, she always said, you are the painter, this world is your canvas. The thoughts that you're made of can conquer the madness. You are surrounded by wonderful things. Look past the darkness, see what this life brings. I'm dancing on water, but slowly going down. might even try to swim if you're only gonna drown. The heat of the fire glows the color of pain. We're made of mayhem, but we just wanna feel sane. Stuck in my head, she always said, you are the painter, this world is your canvas. The thoughts that you're made of can conquer the madness. You are surrounded by wonderful things. Look past the darkness, see what this life brings. Lost in our minds, we'll be just fine, because we are the painters. This world is our canvas. The thoughts that we're made of can conquer the madness. We are surrounded by wonderful things. Look past the darkness, see. We are the painters. This world is our canvas. The thoughts that we're made of can conquer the madness. We are surrounded by wonderful things. Look past the darkness, see what this life brings. See what this life brings.
And that's The Painter from Zoe Stirrett live in studio here on the scene on 88.1 The Park. Zoe, thanks for coming in tonight.
Thank you so much for having me.
It was a lot of fun.
It was a great time.
And let's make sure this is not the last time.
Oh,
even
definitely not.
if you're going to be at Michigan State, you're still welcome back anytime, and we'll have you back in.
Oh, I will be coming back.
And
Don't
we
worry.
will see you on May 11th.
Yes, and June 16th.
And June 16th, that's right. West and Welch, you're out there. We will see you on May 11th with me and the dog. Brian Fair, I know you're out there listening. We will see you on May 11th. And all the listeners out there, thank you for tuning in tonight. And hopefully we see all of you on May 11th at Park for the big show. And of course, the big show is celebrating ITB2, our next 7-inch vinyl, which will feature Paper Crowns with their excellent song Disappear, Abby Sexton and company, and the band that is going to take us out tonight, the great Michigan Left with Waves. Thanks to everyone for tuning in. Thanks to Bill Keith for running the show and allowing In the Band to continue to fill these airways with the best of local music. You will hear from us again on Thursday, May 31st. We will check in. We'll have another special guest. We'll be wrapping up May 11th and promoting that next show on June 16th at our new stage in the Band. Thanks, everyone. Here is Michigan Left with Waves here on the scene on 88.1 The Park.